Hi, and welcome back to Joe's DIY. Today I got a package from Rockville delivering these two drivers. These are 12-inch subwoofer drivers, model RV12W8. So the reason I ordered these was because I got these Yamaha speakers that I'm planning to put into my music room slash home theater. And if you recall, the driver on this one damaged. The sound is okay that's coming out of the pile driver. It's just that I wanted to get something a little bit better, and I figured if I was going to replace one driver, I might as well replace the other. So these are coming out of the Yamaha NSA 575. I want to see how it works out because the wattage here is 140 watts on 8 ohms. So these are rated a little higher, and as you can see, they go run around 300 watts, but can go up to 1200 at peak power. So I'm hoping that these give me a little bit more bass. One of the reasons why I didn't right away just started using these, aside from the damaged drivers, that I don't feel like these are bassy enough for the setup that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open these up. We're going to go ahead and take a look at them. And then what I'm going to do is a simple replacement of these pile drivers with these new Rockville drivers. Now, I haven't really heard too much about these online, other than they're a very good replacement for the more modern Yamaha speakers that some use outdoors. But they mentioned that they have really good quality. I was very content with the price that these were selling for. So I went ahead and opened up the box with my tape cutter or package cutter. And the driver comes like this, wrapped up. Let me go ahead and open this up without damaging the driver, of course. Okay, so there's the driver. Let's see what kind of weight this has. So it's got a very good weight to it. In my opinion, I mean, it's similar to the driver that's already on there. It's just a different brand name. But you can see they even almost have the same kind of material made up of them. With the big difference being that this is a brand new driver. So I'm hoping that we get good quality sound out of this. Let me see. Have a look at the back. So as you can see, it has the inputs for the banana plugs, and of course you have the specs there. So this is rated for 600 watts. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the same boxes. I wanted to mention one more thing. You do get some instructions here on how to install the drivers. Kind of gives you a breakdown on how to install them in series and parallel. And doesn't look like there's anything else that comes here. There are no screws or anything like that, so we're gonna have to probably find some screws if we're missing any. All right, I'll go ahead and open up the other driver, and then we'll go ahead and start trying to replace these speakers. So here's patient number one. So these are the drivers that are currently in the Yamaha. These have been directly soldered, so I'm thinking that I might just take advantage of the banana plugs and set this up to be plugged in with banana plugs. I do have a couple of extra ones that I have for that. One thing that I noticed right from the beginning is that this magnet is significantly bigger than the magnet that comes already in the speakers. So if I were to measure with my ruler, this is approximately I would probably have to say maybe about 4 inches and a quarter. And this magnet here is about 5 inches and a quarter. So this magnet is probably about an inch wider than the original magnet, so we're definitely going to get that power there. let's go ahead and remove these wires, and hopefully we can attach that those banana plugs, and hopefully this will fit in quite well. Unfortunately, whoever took this off, this little gasket that's here, I had to get a little piece of tape and kind of glue it there so that way it wouldn't come off. I am missing some screws, so we're going to go ahead and try to find some replacement screws for that, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I went ahead and mounted the banana plugs into the speaker wires that are inside the speaker. I'm going to go ahead and insert the banana plugs in their rightful place. Simple as that. So now all we got to do is screw this thing back into the hole. This is a 12-inch driver, so there should be no problem with it fitting. So let's go ahead and try that now. Okay, so it looks like the driver is in. The hole fits perfectly well, but we do have a small problem. So right now I have the speaker driver in line with the holes that were already here. But the problem is that if you take a look at the speaker, it's a little bit in the wrong direction as far as it aligning perfectly down the middle, especially when we're talking about the cone. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move the speaker and make sure that it's aligned with this, and drill a couple of new holes just so that we could fasten the speaker properly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then once I have all the holes in and screwed in with screws, we'll have a look at how it looks compared to the other one. Okay, so I got the speaker all reassembled. I was able to get all the screws in their right place. Okay, so what I've done is on the left channel, I've kept the pile that originally came with it. This amplifier that I have here, which I will probably make a video in the very near future, is a very powerful amplifier. I mean, it's got about 140 watts maximum power per channel. This is a Yamaha A-32. A long history that I've had with this amplifier that I will get into in a different episode. But for now, I have them hooked up to both of them. Okay, we'll go ahead and start just by playing them both. I have the balance set right down the middle. I have the bass, I have the treble, I have everything evened out. I got the loudness at 0. And I also got the level set at 1, 2. I might raise it just a little bit just to get the full power of the amp. Make sure that's set at 1. Okay, so I will go ahead and start playing this. And I got a really good hard rock music off the Bensound website that I would like to play for you. So we'll use that. Okay, here we go. Both channels. Here is just the left channel as if I added. The left channel again, it's just the pile subwoofer. Now we'll go ahead and hear the new speaker, the Rockville. So right off the bat, I can hear a lot more clarity coming out of this speaker. The bass is very good, and also very clear compared to the Pile. I'll go ahead and reconfigure this speaker and add the new subwoofer, and then we'll hear them both at the same time. Okay. Okay, we are now back, and I have the left speaker installed, the Rockville, along with the right speaker. So now we have them both activated. So I will go ahead and play our tape, and then we'll get a good feel of how this sounds. Here's a good sound of the right channel. Here's the left channel. Okay, so one last thing that I wanted to try is I actually have the original speaker that came with this receiver, or the set of speakers. So I'm going to take one and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with the Rockville and see how well it matches up. So I will be right back so I can hook that up. Okay, so now I have the original speaker that came with this A-32 Yamaha receiver. This is the original one that my dad had along with this receiver. So, and I'll definitely get more into that as I do the video for the A-32. But as you can see, the specs on both speakers are pretty much the same. Obviously, this is a different serial number. This is the NSA 220. This is the NSA 575. So I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what the differences are. I mean, obviously the top speakers are a little different than these right here. I think these are made just a little bit better, but the sound should be the same. Now this is a little bit worn. I mean, obviously my dad bought this in 1987, so you know, we're talking about over 35 years ago that this speaker was used. So this is, I mean, obviously it's got some wear and tear. It's been in the garage for a couple of years, and the foam, the gasket around it has started to disintegrate. But the speaker is pretty much fully functional. I actually still use it in my garage. So we're going to go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to switch between channels right off the amp as we're playing along this music. So hopefully we'll see if there's a difference or not. So here goes. Okay, I'll go ahead and press play. We'll go ahead and hear the new speaker that's been replaced. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the left speaker. Here's the right speaker again. Here's the left speaker again. I definitely see the difference as far as these two speakers coming off this speaker, or actually, let me phrase that correctly. I definitely see a difference between these two drivers and this speaker versus these two drivers and this speaker. I definitely hear more clarity on these two for sure versus these. However, I do feel that this one is a little bit more bassy than this one. But I honestly think that this one balances out more with this, what this speaker has to offer. So in my mind, I think the obvious question would be, is this a suitable replacement for something that might be needed for this? And honestly, I'm probably going to stick with the safe answer and say that if you're able to get the original driver, if you need to replace any of these, I would try to find the original. This one, however, did a very good job as far as its power and its clarity and its volume. I think this one's definitely a little louder just because of that extra wattage. But I don't think that it overpowers the speakers either. I think it's okay. But I would probably prefer to have the original one here just so that I can get a more balanced sound between the two. I mean, it's not something that's going to be extremely noticeable. I only notice it because, you know, this sound sounds much better with this driver. You know, the blend of all three of them going at the same time, I think, is a much more authentic sound from what I remember as a child, versus this is more, a little bit more synthetic. In the sense that this is not the original one. However, you know, all three of them going at the same time, I do feel like it's a little bit louder, a little bit bassier, but not quite as balanced as with these two and the original. But I do think that they're a very suitable replacement. I think for the price, I think I paid, these originally were listed from where I got them at $75, and they were like half off, probably because there's a new model of these coming out, which I don't mind. I mean, this is a very good replacement for these Yamahas. So $35 for each one wasn't a bad deal at all. And I'm content with this speaker. I'm content enough that I'm probably gonna replace it with my current Pioneers that I have inside the house. Because I was looking for a sound that's closer to what I remember. And this amp is probably also going to replace the other amp that I have in there. Although that other amp is very nice, but I've always wanted this one to be in my setup. So I'm probably going to show a video talking a lot more about this amp. Anyways, thank you for joining me today. I hope that this video was helpful in you determining whether or not you want to pick up this item. Personally, for me, I think it did okay. It's not exactly what I remember hearing when I was a kid, but the driver works really well, and I think it's loud and bassy. So if you like loud and bassy, you're definitely going to be able to enjoy this speaker in whatever setup you choose to use it in. For this particular setup, I think it does just fine the way it is. So anyways, thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.